Hello, this video is going to be about dealing with the loss of a pet. My pet I had 16 years, and I'm going to talk about solutions, regret, pain, and maybe a few things that can help you. My pet I had 16 years. We grilled every weekend together. I loved her very much. A lot of unconditional love, for sure. Unconditional love. Now, when you have something you love so much with unconditional love and it's gone from you, it is probably the worst thing that you're going to experience. Personally, for me, it is in my entire life. Some people will tell you it's not a human. However, one of the biggest things I argue with that is most of the time, a human knows what's happening. He knows he's sick. He understands what's going to happen. And with a pet, I think, you can't talk to them and just tell them, they don't speak English or whatever English you speak, to tell them what's happening. And that gets frustrating, And here are some of the symptoms I've experienced. I'm a severe, worst case scenario of feelings I've gone through emotionally. Some regret, and so on. So my pet had kidney failure. And because of the kidney failure, the meds she was taking for her heart wouldn't work anymore. The only thing I kind of regret is not getting a second opinion, not putting the pet down. Getting a second opinion about putting the pet down. That is the only regret I really truly have with that. Now, what you're experiencing, there are many times, it feels like your soul is out of your body. There's times when you're alone and it just devastates you. Words can't explain how bad and how hurt you feel. However, you feel that way because you loved your pet. You didn't neglect your pet. You did everything you could for that pet. And sorry, I'm trying not to get too emotional here doing this video. And some of the other issues are going to be, if you could have did something different, If you're watching this video and you still have it on, you truly love your pet. For some people, it's different. Some people feel better after a week. Some people feel better after a month. It's almost 9 months for me, and I don't feel any better, And when you talk to people, they'll tell you, sorry, you're lost and this and that, and you go, sure, okay. But you don't feel any better after you talk to them. I know. But I'm going to give you a few things I learned over the 9 months that finally did help me feel at least a little bit better, I was getting so desperate, to try anything to feel better. For one thing, for sure, don't think about hurting yourself or doing anything tragic, because there's going to be a day, and I'm telling you this, there's going to be a day where there's going to be an animal that needs your help, and it will happen, and you need to be there to help that animal down the road. I know you're going through hell right now, but down the road there will be a day where there will be an animal who needs you, and you will save them. So don't do anything drastic to, for that not to happen. So, okay, a few things I did do I did right away after the passing of my pet. A lot of walks with the pet's collar. I walked the most I ever walked in my life for a good month. I did a few shots in the name Cheers to my pet and did a few shots to that. Just a few. You don't want to get another problem. Actually, the burning of that alcohol going down your throat, somehow that pain going down your throat there a little bit helped me a little bit. Again, it's one or two. That's it, you know. Unfortunately, I put on a lot of weight. I started eating a lot more. For some reason, that was helping me. Now I regret eating all that food, but that's been going on for a while. Now, some of the solutions or things that might help you. Going to the doctor. I did that. Depression medication. It was a very low dosage, so for me it didn't work. But for you, it might. You know, it might. I purchased a placard, put a picture of my dogs in there. And again, it could be any kind of animal, a bird, a pat, a rabbit, a donkey, whatever. It could be any kind of animal that you're feeling this grief. I'm just referring to my situation. I purchased a placard, I put my pet in the picture in there, and I had them write up a nice little story about my pet. And I could look at that every day. Now this helps you remember you're not going to forget your pet. It just helps you remember them. And anytime I felt a little better, then I would feel regret and pain for feeling better, you know, guilt. Felt guilty for feeling a little better once in a while. I know that's a whole nother story with that. I also purchased a little charm. I put my pet's ashes in there. And it's always on me all the time, except, of course, when I take a shower. But it helps a little bit knowing a part of her is with me. Now, the biggest question everyone's going to have, getting another pet. Now, that is the million-dollar question, if that will help you or not. With me, I wanted to get another pet right away, but I knew, you know, I used discipline. You need to wait it out. You need to, unfortunately, suffer for a while, and it is brutal. And I waited about 8.5 months, and I did get another pet, and I'll tell you how that pet, if it worked or not, or helped a little bit or not. The first couple days of having a new pet, I didn't get a puppy. I went to a rescue. There's a million of them places online. I didn't want to go through the potty training and all that, and I wanted to save another dog. I did get the same breed I had before, but a different gender, which I thought was a good decision. Now, the first 2 days of getting a new pet, it actually made it a little worse, because the pet would remind you how much you loved your other pet, and it made it worse the few days. Once you get through that, the complete opposite did start happening. The new pet would remind me of the good things about my former pet. And I enjoyed those memories. It actually brought back good memories once I got through that stage. And I'm home a lot during the day. And being alone and having a new pet helped a lot. We spend all day in the kitchen. I like to do my little thing in the afternoon once in a while with my cooking, and the pet's right there with you, and that's enjoyable. So it's not a cure, but it takes the edge off. But again, you need to wait on this until you're really ready for another pet. You need to unfortunately go through that cruel pain, the worst you've ever had, and will continue to have, until it subsides at least a little bit before getting another pet. So 1, don't hesitate to see a doctor. 2, don't hesitate to go join a group online. And 3, it's okay to do a few shots and do a cheers to your pet. It's okay. Just don't make sure that won't become a problem. And still, to this day, I suffer and deal with the pain of my pet being gone. You know, it's very difficult. And I get really angry that there's nothing I can do to bring the pet back for a little bit to visit them. You just have to deal with them being gone. And it is the hardest thing. I get it. I'm there for you. We could go through this together. And I get it. I know how you feel. I'm a worst case scenario. It is horrible. But don't be mad at yourself. You did everything you could. And the biggest thing that helped me the most, if I had what your pet is going through, if you had that, my pet had kidney failure. If I had full kidney failure and it couldn't be cured, if my medication wasn't working anymore and I stopped eating, and I couldn't eat anymore, I couldn't sleep anymore, would I still want to be alive? Would you still want to be alive going through that? I know I wouldn't, and I'm sure my pet wouldn't either. But I did everything I could first for the pet. When there was nothing else you could do is when I decided to go through with that thought. Now, there's been 3 other occasions in the past where I thought this was it. And I didn't jump the gun, you know. I made sure everything I could do first. And the pet made a great recovery the first few times things like this happen. If your pet died in a tragic accident, I am so sorry about that. I can't relate to that. I mean, the grief is really horrible, but I don't have a solution for that. And I'm really sorry about that. I can't imagine that, going through that. I know. I hope this video helped you out a little bit. I do. Because I know it's horrible. Thank you for watching this video.